Now to go and find our sectional left view, we're now working off of cutting plane AA. But of course, the same as what we did with the top view, we're going to start off by going and drawing our left view without it being cut, which requires us to go and project each of our points from our front view straight across into our left view, and then of course each of our points from our top view across onto our 45-degree line, and then up into the left view. And here you need to make sure, of course, that you are watching your numbers carefully when you go and find these points. Otherwise your left view will come out completely wrong. Okay, I've got our lines projected. Now we're going to follow them along to go and find each of our different points. First of all, our apex, point A, that would bring it across, and that across and up, and that over there, of course, will give us point A. And I'm going to pin that in there so that you can see it nice and clearly. Okay, so there's our apex, and then we do the same thing with all of our other points. Okay, if you follow your numbers across, you'll see there's point 3, bring point 3 across. You'll find point 3 over there, you'll find point 6 just across from it, and then of course we label it. There's 3, there's 6, you can see 6 came from there, and then of course if we do point 5, that'll be point 5 over there. Okay, so we can label that. This point over here is going to be point 4, and then just across from it, of course that will be point 2. And then across from 5 is going to be point 1. And then in construction, we're going to draw in all of our lines again, same as what we did with the top view, as if it hasn't been cut. And then we'll do the base lines as well, so that the base is nice and clear. Okay, and there we have it. There's our complete left view without it being cut. And now we're going to do the same thing as we did with our top view. We're going to take each of our cutting points across one at a time and then check where they're going to cut our left view. So we're going to start over here. That point there cuts line A4 and A5, 2 lines again. So we're going to project this across into our left view and then mark off where it hits A5, which will be there, and then where it hits A4, which is there. Then the next one, that cuts line A3 and A6, project that across, mark off where it cuts into A6, mark off where it cuts into A3. And then our last one at the top here, which cuts into line A2 and A1, and we'll mark off where it hits A1 and where it hits A2. This cutting plane doesn't cut through our base this time, so the base will be left alone. And now that we've done that, we can now go and draw in our full cutting plane again by just joining at each of our cutting points with a dark line, because we know we're going to see the whole cutting plane in this view. Okay, there we go. That's our full cutting plane. Now the same as what we did with the other one, we're going to take our set square, we're going to put a set square over the part which we know has been cut away, okay, which is everything over there. So we know that point A is gone and all of the lines from A to each of the cutting points, so we're not going to draw that in dark. And then of course we can see that the whole base is still there, so all of the lines that we could see for the base we can go and draw in. Okay, so we can go and draw all those base lines that we can see in. Again, for this view I'm not going to include the hidden detail. So we only have those base lines that we'd be able to see, the other ones are underneath the rest of the shape. And then of course we'll have the lines that then go from the cutting point down to each of the base points. Those have to be drawn in dark as well. Make sure that those are nice and clear. And then the last thing that we have to do once we've done that, of course, is just to go and draw in our 45-degree hatching lines again. And once again we've got quite a nice big shape, so we're again not going to worry too much about small gaps in between them. We're going to go for nice big ones. And then once these hatching lines are in, we then have a complete sectional left view. Try and make sure, of course, that your gaps between your hatching lines are always as equal as possible. And there we go. There's our complete left view.